When visiting London many years ago, I noticed signs throughout their subway system, what they call the Underground. The signs said, "Mind the gap," referring to the gap between the train and the station platform. It struck me as an unusual combination of words, and since then, I've always used it as an analogy for the gaps we encounter in business, and how important it is for all of us to mind the gaps every day.
Increase sales, improve margins, and grow your business. Guaranteed. TopSecrets.com. Now, David Blaze.
Hi, and welcome to the podcast. So the gap they refer to in the London Underground is the physical gap or space between the train and the station platform. In some cases, the gap is just a few inches wide, enough to lose a shoe if you're not careful. In other areas, the gap could be nearly a foot wide, enough to lose a small child if you're not careful. But today, I'd like to encourage you to examine and mind the gaps in your own life and business. There are actually two definitions of mind that come into play here. The first is to be mindful or aware. Are you mindful of the gaps in your business? Are you aware of them? Do you know what they are and recognize that they're there? The second definition means being concerned or disturbed about the gaps. Do you mind the gaps? Do the gaps bother you? Do they annoy you? If not, maybe they should. There are lots of gaps in business. Many of these gaps can be measured in terms of the difference between desire and reality, between what we want and what we have. For example, the gap between our desired sales volume and our actual sales volume. The gap between the type of clients we want and the type of clients we actually have. The gap between our desired profit and our actual profit. The gap between what we would love to accomplish in our businesses and what we're currently accomplishing. The gap between what we want to provide for our families and what we're actually providing. The gaps between desire and reality are practically limitless. It doesn't take a lot of looking to find them. But in my experience, there are two primary gaps we need to fill if we want to address all the other ones. First are the gaps in what we know, particularly the gaps related to the actions we should be taking. For salespeople and business owners, it could be gaps in their knowledge of who to approach or how to approach them, what they should say or how they should say it. Gaps in what we know are deadly because if we don't know what to do or how to do it, then we have very little likelihood of succeeding. Second are the gaps in what we do. There are many people who know exactly what they need to do to succeed, but for some reason, they consistently fail to do it. In sales, it's one thing to know that we need to be prospecting daily, but it's entirely another thing to actually do it as consistently as we know we should. Knowing and doing are two different things. Beyond the gaps in what we know and what we do are the things that Mark Twain referred to as things we know that just ain't so. Whenever we have preconceived but incorrect notions about things, we create even more unnecessary gaps in our lives that need to be bridged. So what are the biggest gaps that are currently holding you back? Are they primarily gaps in knowledge? Do you just need to know more? Or are they gaps in doing? Do you just need to take more consistent action on the things you already know? In our Total Market Domination course, we work with our clients to first eliminate the gaps in what they know, to give them the ideas, direction, and step-by-step processes to follow to dominate their markets. But we also address the gaps in what they do, encouraging them to take the necessary actions each day in their businesses. If you're already a Total Market Domination client, I encourage you to log in and start bridging whatever gap you're currently dealing with. And if you're not, then I invite you to join us. Give us a call toll-free at 1-800-494-2721 or check out my web presentation, Programming Clients to Choose You. You can access it now at topsecrets.com/choose.
TopSecrets.com.
If you're tired of flat or declining sales and losing business to your competitors, be sure to check out my latest web presentation entitled Programming Clients to Choose You. Who are your very best prospects currently programmed to buy from? Is it you or someone else? If you want it to be you, visit topsecrets.com/choose and register for the free presentation now. That's topsecrets.com/choose.
Increase sales, improve margins, and grow your business. Guaranteed. Top Secrets. TopSecrets.com.